Tired of bland salads and store-bought vegetables that taste like cardboard? What if I told you that July, despite its scorching heat, is actually one of the most strategic times to plant for a spectacular fall harvest? While your neighbors are complaining about their wilting summer gardens, you could be sowing the seeds for the most delicious homegrown vegetables you've ever tasted. The summer heat may seem like your garden's worst enemy, but here's the secret that experienced gardeners know. Selecting the right vegetables to plant in July's intense temperatures is your ticket to a bountiful and flavorful harvest that will carry you through the cooler months ahead. Let's dive into this game-changing approach that will transform your gardening success. July planting might seem counterintuitive, but it's actually a gardening goldmine waiting to be discovered. When you plant in July, you're giving your vegetables an extended growing season that takes advantage of the remaining warm weather while allowing them to mature during the cooler, more favorable conditions of fall. This timing creates the perfect storm for exceptional flavor development and robust plant growth. The benefits extend far beyond just timing. July-planted gardens face significantly less competition from weeds, which have already exhausted much of their spring vigor. Your carefully selected vegetables will have the space and resources they need to establish strong root systems without battling aggressive weeds for nutrients and water. Additionally, many fall vegetables actually prefer the gradual temperature decline that comes with autumn weather, developing sweeter flavors and more tender textures than their spring-planted counterparts. From my years of gardening experience, I've discovered that July plantings often produce some of the most satisfying harvests of the entire year. There's just something magical about watching seeds germinate in the summer heat and then flourish as temperatures begin to moderate, creating vegetables that taste incredibly fresh and vibrant even as winter approaches. The key to July planting success lies in selecting vegetables that not only tolerate summer heat during their germination and early growth phases, but also thrive as temperatures cool. Cool season crops are your best friends here, especially leafy greens and root vegetables that develop their best flavors in cooler weather. Kale stands out as an absolute superstar for July planting. This nutritional powerhouse actually becomes sweeter and more tender after experiencing light frosts, making it perfect for fall and even winter harvesting. Plant kale varieties like Winterbor or Red Russian in July, and you'll be rewarded with incredibly flavorful leaves that can withstand temperatures well below freezing. The robust nature of kale means it will continue producing fresh greens for your table long after other vegetables have succumbed to cold weather. Spinach represents another excellent choice for July sowing. Unlike spring spinach that often bolts quickly in rising temperatures, fall spinach has the luxury of maturing in gradually cooling conditions, resulting in larger, more tender leaves with a milder flavor. Varieties like Space and Bloomsdale Longstanding are particularly well suited for July planting, offering excellent cold tolerance and extended harvest periods. Lettuce varieties specifically bred for fall production excel when planted in July's heat. Look for heat-tolerant types like Jericho romaine or red sales leaf lettuce that can handle the initial temperature stress while establishing strong root systems. These varieties will reward you with crisp, flavorful leaves throughout the fall months, providing fresh salad ingredients when store-bought options become expensive and less appealing. Root vegetables like carrots and beets are particularly rewarding July plantings. Carrots planted in July develop exceptional sweetness as they mature in cool fall weather, with varieties like Bolero and Nelson offering excellent flavor and storage potential. Beets, including both the roots and nutritious greens, thrive when planted in midsummer, with varieties like Detroit Dark Red and Chioggia providing beautiful colors and outstanding flavor for fall meals. Success with July plantings begins with meticulous soil preparation. The intense summer heat can quickly dry out poorly prepared soil, so, it's important to focus on creating a planting environment that retains moisture while providing excellent drainage. Work compost or well-aged manure into your planting beds to improve soil structure and water retention. This organic matter acts like a sponge, holding moisture during hot days while preventing waterlogging during summer storms. Timing your planting for optimal conditions can really make the difference between success and failure. Plant your seeds during the cooler parts of the day, either early morning or late afternoon, to minimize transplant shock and reduce water stress. If possible, choose overcast days for planting, as the reduced sun intensity gives your newly planted seeds the best chance to establish without excessive heat stress. Planting depth becomes crucial during July sowings. Most cool-season vegetables prefer shallow planting, typically at a depth of 2 to 3 times the seed diameter. However, in July's heat, consider planting slightly deeper than normal to ensure seeds remain in consistently moist soil. Space your plantings appropriately to allow for good air circulation, which helps prevent fungal diseases that can develop in hot, humid conditions. Creating microclimates within your garden can significantly improve your success rate. Use taller plants or temporary shade structures to provide afternoon shade for newly planted areas. Even something as simple as a piece of shade cloth suspended over your planting beds can reduce soil temperature by 10 to 15 degrees, creating much more favorable conditions for germination and early growth. Consistent watering becomes absolutely critical for July plantings, but the approach differs significantly from spring gardening routines. Water deeply but less frequently to encourage strong root development while avoiding the shallow root systems that result from frequent light watering. Early morning watering is ideal, as it allows plants to absorb moisture before the day's heat intensifies while reducing the risk of fungal diseases associated with wet foliage overnight. Mulching plays an essential role in July plantings, serving multiple critical functions. A 2 to 3 inch layer of organic mulch around your plants helps regulate soil temperature, retain moisture, and suppress weeds that compete with your vegetables for resources. Straw, shredded leaves, or grass clippings work excellently, but avoid fresh wood chips, which can temporarily tie up soil nitrogen as they decompose. Pest management for July plantings requires, a proactive approach, since the warm weather really speeds up pest life cycles. Regular inspection of your plants lets you catch problems early when they're the most manageable. You can encourage beneficial insects by planting flowers like marigolds and zinnias near your vegetable beds. These natural predators help control harmful pests without the need for chemical interventions that might disrupt your garden's ecosystem. Heat stress protection becomes, honestly, pretty vital during those extreme temperature periods. Temporary shade structures, regular watering, and avoiding cultivation during the hottest parts of the day all help minimize plant stress. Be sure to watch for signs of wilting or leaf scorch, and be ready to provide extra protection during heat waves, since those can damage even your most heat-tolerant varieties. The rewards of July planting become beautifully apparent as fall arrives and your garden really hits its peak productivity. There's just an incredible satisfaction in harvesting crisp lettuce for fresh salads, especially while your neighbors are stuck with expensive, tasteless, store-bought greens. Your kale will be at its sweetest, your carrots will have developed that classic fall sweetness, and your beets will give you both tender greens and flavorful roots for those warming autumn meals. So, just take a moment to consider the culinary possibilities that open up with fresh fall vegetables. Imagine preparing hearty soups with your homegrown kale and carrots, or maybe creating colorful salads with your fresh lettuce and beets. Or, just simply enjoying the pure taste of vegetables that were growing in your garden just hours before reaching your plate. The flavor difference between homegrown fall vegetables and store-bought alternatives is, honestly, truly remarkable. The timing of fall harvests also provides excellent storage opportunities. Many July-planted vegetables can be harvested over extended periods, allowing you to enjoy fresh produce well into winter. Root vegetables like carrots and beets can often be left in the ground and harvested as needed, while leafy greens can be succession planted every few weeks for continuous harvests. July planting represents one of gardening's best-kept secrets, offering the opportunity to extend your growing season and enjoy the most flavorful vegetables of the year. The combination of warm soil for germination, followed by gradually cooling weather for maturation, creates ideal conditions for exceptional vegetable production. Start planning your July plantings today by selecting the varieties that best suit your climate and taste preferences. Remember that success comes from choosing the right vegetables, preparing your soil properly, and providing consistent care throughout the growing season. Your fall dinner table will thank you for the effort, and you'll wonder why you waited so long to discover the magic of July planting. Don't forget to subscribe to Smart Garden for more expert gardening tips and techniques that will transform your growing success throughout the year. Share this guide with fellow gardeners who are ready to discover the incredible potential of summer planting for fall harvests. Together, we can grow amazing gardens that provide fresh, delicious food for our families while connecting us more deeply with the natural world around us.